All right, so we'll get into the presentation. Most of you will be familiar with the site and will at least have an understanding of where everything is. But for those of you that may not be as familiar with the site, firstly, the building that we're in now, which is the Clubhouse, is located up here, just out of shot. We've got the motel over here, and then obviously we've got the tennis courts here. And as you can see with the overlay, that is where the 51 blocks are located. So obviously there is golf course frontage. We've got the 9th East hole over here, the 14th East hole over here, and our 15th East hole over there. So that's just for anyone who may not be that familiar with the site and our facilities that we have here at Rich River Golf Club. Now, the vision that we have for the estate, it's certainly a unique and rare opportunity to be offering the facilities and also the opportunity to be able to live on course like we've got coming up here as part of the golf course estate. So it's a unique residential experience within the confines of Rich River Golf Club. We've got 51 allotments, and they range from 415 metres squared through to 610 metres squared. 30 of the allotments have golf course views, and we believe it will be a peaceful oasis in magnificent Moama. We're trying to have great golf course living within easy walking distance of the fantastic club and sporting facilities that we have here at Rich River Golf Club. As I mentioned before, certainly a very unique and rare opportunity for the quality of living and the lifestyle that we believe that these blocks will offer. So just on the lifestyle, Echuca Moama, it's a thriving regional community. I moved up here about 4.5 years ago, certainly don't have any regrets. Fantastic part of the world. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Moama is one of the fastest growing communities within New South Wales. So it is a thriving regional community. Obviously on the banks of the Murray River with, the vast array of water activities that the Murray River provides. Magnificent sunny climate all year round, so you just have to have a look out the window and we get regular days like this. Maybe not quite as warm in June, but certainly plenty of sunny days all year round. Obviously at Rich River, Rich River is one of the jewels in the crown of Echuca Moama. We offer outstanding sporting facilities, 2 high-quality golf courses, including our East Golf Course, which is in the top 100 public access golf courses within Australia, a tennis facility, as well as a quality lawn bowls facility, and also a quality croquet facility. Also got the club facility in here with all that it offers. Obviously we're up here in our Tatalia function room now, but most of you would be familiar with the facilities that we have downstairs, the bistro, the cafe, the gaming room, the sports bar, the TAB, pretty much a one-stop shop over here in the club. And the fantastic thing is that it's only 2.5 hours away from Melbourne. So if you've got family, you've got friends that are in Melbourne, you can get down to Melbourne. It's an easy 2.5 hour drive, and there's regular train and bus services that also go. So if you've got reason that you want to get down to Melbourne, whether it's to visit family or friends, or you've got a sporting event or an event on that you want to get back for, it's not like you have to travel hours and hours, and it's a comfortable trip down and back. All of you should have received the explanatory notes on the way in. So hopefully all of you have got the explanatory notes in front of you, and I dare say that Steve would have sent those out to everyone that has registered their interest, and they have been available for the last month or so on the website. So I'm not going to cover these in detail, but we've just got a couple of slides on the key points with the explanatory notes. So the explanatory notes are essentially the rules that govern the estate. So the first one is that all plans must be approved by the Rich River Golf Club Development Committee prior to being sent to Murray River Council. So for anyone who does buy a lot, rather than sending your plans off to the Murray River Council, you first need to send them in to the Development Committee, and that is outlined in the explanatory notes. We do permit on the estate both single story and double story. So if you do want to build double story, you are permitted on any blocks within the estate. Our preference is for contemporary modern architectural designs that befits the quality of the estate that we believe will be provided here. All roofing and building materials must be non-reflective. Obviously we have a sunny, bright climate here. Carports are not permitted, so any car storage, that type of thing, must be within garages. There is no direct access from any lots on the golf course. So that's another important one. No direct access from any lots on the golf course. And any external structures such as pools, shade sails, pergolas, etc. also require development committee approval. Not that that will be unreasonably withheld. The external colours that we're aiming for must be generally neutral, earthy tones. As far as pets are concerned, small dogs are permitted, but their cats and birds are not permitted. Long-term tenancy arrangements for residential rental arrangements are permitted on the basis of a 6-month minimum, but we don't permit any short-term holiday Airbnb type accommodation arrangements. Anyone who's in that market, we've obviously got our motel and our motel facility here that is available for that. We estimate that the total fees that will be payable in respect of community association expenses will be roughly $1,000 a year. Now, obviously, once the estate gets up and happening, we'll be able to, those fees will be better known, but we suggest to any prospective buyer out there, if you allow $1,000 per annum, we believe that that will cover all relevant community association expenditure. For those that are buying or that do end up buying one of these lots, you'll be pleased to know that there are a number of the fences that will be provided by the golf club. So I'll just go through the fencing plan here. Some of you will already be familiar with this as it is outlined in the explanatory notes. Firstly, there is to be no front fencing. Okay, so no front fencing. However, the golf club will provide the fences that are in blue, which are these ones here, and we've also got those ones there, which will be 1.8 metre high brush box fencing. The pink colour here, which is over here, over there, and also there, that will be 1.8 metre high brush box fencing with a 3 metre from the corner splay. And the majority of the fencing here, which is in between the lots, which is this light reddish colour over here, that will be lot boundary fencing to 1.8 metres high, and it'll be a colour bond fence in woodland grey. Okay. If there are any deviations from that, it needs to be approved by the development committee. So I know we've had a couple of queries already whether that can be a brush box fence. In answer to that, it can be a brush box fence, providing there is approval from the neighbours either side, and it also requires approval from the development committee. Okay, but that brush box fence will be at the owner's expense, not necessarily the golf club's. So that's the fencing there that's provided by the golf club. The fencing in here in this lightish yellow colour and also the green, the owners here will have the option of not necessarily putting in a fence. So the owners of these blocks with the views over the golf course might prefer not to have a fence, and if you prefer not to have a fence, that's fine. The fencing, though, that is permitted is outlined here, so it's a lower fence if there's no pool. In the woodland grey open pool type fence, or there is the option of having the brush box fence, or if you have got a pool, the option of having a 1.8 metre high pool safety fence. But the yellow and the green will be at the discretion of the owners, and it will be at the expense of the owner, but there is the option of not having a fence there. So hopefully that explains the fencing plan. Okay, just letting you know for lots 2 to 6, which are facing one of our signature holes at Rich River, that's the 15th East, certainly one of the holes that we're renowned for at Rich River. The old pump shed, which is in the picture here, will be demolished and removed very shortly. Okay. The non-Indigenous trees that we have over here and also further beyond, those trees will be thinned out so that we're opening up views over the 15th East hole. And we are also looking, now there's no guarantees on this, but we have got a new pump shed over here. We are currently investigating the possibility of relocating that pump shed. So as soon as we do have an answer on that, we will let people know. Okay, so yeah, at this point in time, no guarantees, but yeah, we are investigating relocating that pump shed away from that, which again will help with the views. So that's for lots 2 to 6. Okay. For lots 6 to 25, for those of you that are familiar with the site, which I dare say a number of you will be, you'll notice that we've got currently this channel that's running through. Now that channel will be filled and compacted very shortly. We're just waiting for DA approval to come through. But as soon as we get the DA approval on that, we will proceed with filling and compacting that channel, which will obviously enable homes to be built on those lots. For lots 22 to 34, now these are the lots that face the 9th east hole. We currently have our golf course machinery area just on the other side of the 9th east hole. Now that golf course machinery area will be relocated to another area on site in 2023. Okay, we've earmarked that the relocation or a new facility being built to house the golf course machinery, equipment, and all of our staff that work on the golf course. That will be done in the second half of 2023. Okay. Now the future use of this parcel that currently has the golf course maintenance area, we haven't determined what that will be as yet, so we're still working our way through what will ultimately be on this land. However, certainly the views of residents that buy into the estate will be a key consideration. And the one thing I do guarantee is that once this golf course maintenance area goes, regardless of what is over the other side, that the views will be better than what they currently are. Okay, I see a couple of laughs there, so so ultimately when this goes, the views will be enhanced, and I think you can understand why, and it won't be too far away. All right, so that's lots 22 to 34 on the 9th east hole. All right, for those of you that are wondering about access to the estate, okay, so access to the estate will be up via the main entrance. You'll turn right just before you get to the club, go past the motel, and come in via here. Okay. Now, just to explain a few things. Tennis courts 7, 8, and 9, which are these 3 tennis courts here, are going. Okay? So these 3 tennis courts will go, and they'll effectively become part of the community association land and part of the estate. What will also become part of the community association land and the estate, and which will feature as part of the entranceway, will be any of the land here at the rear of the tennis clubhouse. So where I'm pointing to now, that will essentially become part of the entranceway, and we'll get the roadway in and out there. A couple other things I'd just like to highlight. As part of the estate development and as part of the civil works, the main entrance, which you all would have driven up this morning, it will be upgraded in the middle of the year. So we're going to reseal that. And so currently the bumpy, pothole-ridden driveway will be upgraded so it's a brand new sealed drive, an entranceway to the club, which will be fantastic. The other one that I wanted to mention is that we do have plans to be able to seal and essentially upgrade the Taylor Road entrance and to open that, and we expect that that will be done by 2024. So when this estate is well and truly open, and we've got some other plans in the pipeline, we plan on opening the Taylor Road entrance, and we would expect that that will occur no later than 2024. So certainly driveways will certainly be enhanced from what you do see now, and it's not too far away. Just a few other things. There'll be a lot of tree removal as soon as we get DA approval. So when you wander over there at the moment, you'll see a lot of trees that are there. Not all the trees will go, but all the trees that we need to get rid of will. And we'll be able to do that when we get the DA approval from council, which is not going to be too far away. As far as waste disposal, the waste disposal arrangement will not be covered with council. So we will establish a weekly service with an independent operator that will be appointed by the community association. Okay, and that will be covered as part of your community association fees, which, as I outlined earlier in the presentation, we expect to be, about $1,000 per year. As far as mail delivery goes, mail delivery will be near to letterboxes near the entrance to the golf club. There will be visitor car parking near the entrance to the estate. So those tennis courts 7, 8 and 9, that is where a lot of the visitor car parking will be. Just on storage facilities, we have had some people that have inquired about storage for caravans, boats, that type of thing. We currently don't have anything on site at the moment. However, we do have plans in the pipeline to be able to provide that. At this point, though, I can't give you a definitive date, but we are certainly giving consideration to that. In terms of expected timelines, so some information here that I'm sure you'll all be interested in. We are expecting in the next month, so at some point in time in February, that the DA approval that we need will come through from council. Okay, so that's expected that at some point in the next month. Okay, we do expect that within possibly the second half of March or the first half of April, but anyway, certainly within March or April that the blocks will go on sale, okay? And Steve will talk a little bit more in a minute about the method of sale and how that will work, okay? But yeah, March and April, that is the expected time frame when the blocks will go on sale. We are aiming to commence the civil works on the estate in June, and those civil works will be conducted over the winter months and into the spring. We expect that the titles and the subdivision of the land and the new titles that will come through at some point in October. We are aiming to have the blocks settle in November. So that's the time frame that we're working towards. And we would expect that by early 2023 that dwelling construction can commence. So that's the timelines there that we're working to and the timelines that we believe are applicable at the moment. With that, I will hand over to Steve Morgan, who's going to take us through the last few slides of the presentation, and we'll talk about the method of sale and a couple of other components. So I'll hand over to Steve.
I'll let you work that. Thanks, Shane. I'll let you work that little toggle. It's probably above me. So the method of sale, what we're looking at this point in time, is the premium lots, which we believe are 6 to 12 and 19 to 23. These lots will go on sale before the other lots. Now obviously my job is to try and get the best price we can for the golf club, and being a unique estate that's the first one inside the boundaries of Rich River, it's very difficult to price them. So it'll be part of a rolling online auction over a 2-week period. So to give people an opportunity, because I do know there are a number of people that want a block within a bank of 3 or 4. So what we'll do, it's an online auction, so what you'll go online and you'll register, so you don't need to come out to the club or into my office or anything like that. You can sit at home and you can watch the bidding and you can bid on a block that you prefer to obviously a price that you hope to achieve it at. So lot 7 will go up on the Tuesday night. That will finish at 6 o'clock. So you'll register before that day. You'll be approved to register. You'll sit at home. At 6 o'clock that night, there'll be a 2-minute clock will start. Once you place a bid, that clock will restart, go back in for 2 minutes. So the auction will commence while bidding is happening. Once there's 2 minutes with no bids, that auction then ceases. All right? So once someone places a bid, the clock resets, and that will be lot 7. Now, at 7 o'clock on that Tuesday night, the same thing will happen with lot 21. So we've tried to space the block so we're not doing lot 7 and lot 8 side by side on the same night. Gives people the opportunity to think about the next block, so they're a little bit different. And then the same thing will happen on the Wednesday. At 6 o'clock Wednesday night, the auction for lot 6, and then at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, lot 22. So that'll go for 2 weeks. The lot numbers and numbers of the lots at the auction are subject to change, but at this stage we're looking at doing it that way. Those that I've got their email, which will be everyone that's here today, and those on the link that I haven't got their email, if they do email me or send me a text with their link, I'll be sending out a lot of information in regards to the auction as to, it's done on a platform called Open Negotiation. It's a company from Perth that control all that software. I'll be sending out information about how it happens, tutorial videos, answering all the questions and that sort of stuff. So it's something that it will be new, but I'll be holding your hand through that process, and we'll have a good lead up time in regards to that. So you can register weeks out. It's not something you have to do on a day or anything like that. And I can certainly answer any questions and help people through that process. After the auction, the plan is to set prices for the remaining blocks. That will give us a good indication of not only demand, but what those blocks are worth. So from there, we will then set the blocks. The market will be advised of the price of the blocks will go on sale at a predetermined date. At this stage, I will no doubt meet with Shane and the committee out here on the Friday after the auction on the second week. We'll sit there Friday, we'll go through the balance of the blocks, price them. Hopefully by the Friday night or that Saturday morning, I'll email everybody a plan and an itemised pricing per block, and they will probably at this stage go on sale, say 8 o'clock on the Monday. So the prices haven't been set, however, Guide, obviously we're expecting prime frontage lots to be sold in the low 300s, so they're the ones facing 15, 14 and 9. And then all the internal lots, we probably they will probably be in the range of the sort of the higher 2s. Again, that will be determined by you people in regards to those sets of auctions. 10% deposit will be required to secure a block, and normally the settlement will be within 14 days of the title. So if that's in November, prior to Christmas, then settlement will happen from there. And I suppose any questions on any of that? Yes.
When the block's titled,
Yes. Yep.
how long after do you need to build?
No build time frame. You will be required to maintain that block, so it's not high grass and all that sort of stuff, but there's no build frame. So if you're retiring in 2 or 3 years' time, you can build in 2 or 3 years' time. But once you settle, you will be required to maintain the block. I haven't got a date. We're estimating. We've got the days, so it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mondays nights is generally hard for auctions, and obviously Friday night people are out for meals and drinks and that sort of stuff. So the auctions will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 1 week, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the following week. But I haven't got a date depending on DA contracts, because I need to send out a management statement and a copy of the contract so you know what you're bidding and all the bits and pieces. So once the contracts and that are available and the DA's been signed off, I'll sit with the golf club and we'll come up with a date. But everybody will have probably 3 or 4 weeks' notice. Yes.
Will it be cancel rates payable?
Yes, there will be. Yeah, you be very similar to Fairways. You'll have your association fees, which will cover roads, lights, gardening, raw water. The council will still rate you because it's your title, so it's your own freehold title, and they'll also probably more than likely charge you for your filtered water. But yeah, your association fees will be extra on top of your rates. I'll let Mark answer that.
No?
Might have to come up here, Mark. Probably working now.
Hello? Hello? How's that? Oh, that's good. Yeah, look, the the open channel, that'll be filled. It'll be dug out and compacted to what they call a 95% compaction rate, which is probably even harder and firmer than the existing ground that's there. So the intention with having it filled to that that rate is that so that you won't need piers for your new homes. There will be, I think, John, as you asked, there will be engineering reports available for those blocks. Soil tests will be undertaken and they'll be available for the purchaser. But the intention is that you won't need piers to build any homes on any of the blocks.
Okay.
We'll get Mark to stay up here. All right. So for those that are on the video link, I'll try to repeat the question because we do have some people following on the video link. So the question has come from the audience of where the sewerage station will be located. I'll get Mark to answer that now.
So the intention with the sewerage station, that'll be located in the area where we've got the dedicated visitor car parking to be set aside. So at the moment, where we've got tennis courts 7, 8 and 9, which will be removed as part of this development. So they'll be used for your visitor car parking. The sewerage pump station will be in there. And of course, we'll try and locate that as far away from any of the residences as possible. Also, there will be an electricity substation in there as well that'll provide electricity to the estate.
Mark, is the civil plans being done yet for all the infrastructure, and if so, are they available?
Okay, so the question for those on the video link is, have the civil plans been completed yet for the construction, and if so, are they available?
The civil plans are underway at the moment. We haven't got the DA, so we've sort of got to wait for the DA before we can then present the civil plans back to the council for approval, but they are well and truly underway at the moment. The idea is, of course, that we want to try and get the estate up and running as soon as possible. So we've got a couple of things happening simultaneously. One being the application for the DA. The other one is the preparation of the engineering and services plans. So they are well underway, but they're not available for publication as yet. They too have to be approved by the council prior to construction, as you know. So that's where we're at the moment, though. They will be available. As soon as they're approved by the council, they'll be available for everybody to have a look at.
Okay, so the question for those that are on the video link is, will there be any drainage or sewerage easements for the blocks? I'll hand over to Mark.
There won't be any easements on the blocks. All the services will be underground within the Central Road Reserve. That road reserve will be 12 metres wide with a 6 metre wide concrete pavement, 3 metre wide either side nature strip, and that 12 metres is more than enough for us to put all the services underground so that we won't affect any of the blocks with easements.
Sorry, Kay, you had a question? Okay, so the question for those on the video link is, how many spaces will be allocated to visitor car parking?
Look, that's still a little bit fluid at the moment. Initially, we had probably enough space there to do 24 odd car parking visitor spaces, but now, as Shane alluded to, we're also thinking about relocating the main irrigation pump shed. So that may come over there near those existing tennis courts 7, 8 and 9, which will possibly cut back the number of visitor car parks. But if there's any issue with visitor car parking, of course the car parking available for the golf club is still available.
So there's a question down here from the gentleman down the front row. Okay, so the question for those that are on the video link is, with the electricity substation, what's going to be the capacity to feed off that for solar panels? I'll hand back over to Mark.
Okay, look, we've got our electrical engineers at the moment who are looking at the design. We've had the local electricians have given us initial estimate of the amperage that we need to provide for the estate. So with the 51 houses, it's a 500 kVA substation that will be installed, and it'll be similar. So that's designed as if there's no solar power. So if someone wants to put in solar power on their roof, that's quite okay, and we'll be able to feed back in through the grid as per normal. I don't believe so, but it might be a question I take on notice, and if we get your details, that's something I can just check with the electrical engineers for you.
Question from the gentleman down the front.
Internet access, will there be fibre to the curb, or how far is the cable going to go?
Yep. So question for those that are on the video link is internet access, and whether there will be fibre to the curb and how far the internet access will go.
And unfortunately, that's another question I'll have to take on notice. There will be internet available, of course, but how far the fibre goes, I don't know. But again, it's something we can get your details and give you the answer to that one.
Gentleman down the front.
Is there a minimum size house you can build?
There is no minimum, no.
Okay, so there's no company in place, so you can put a 5 square home on what?
Theoretically, as if it met the architectural guidelines, yes, but there is no minimum. Yep.
With the architectural guidelines, I know it has to go to that committee to
Sure.
approve. Is there a cost involved with that as well?
Okay. So just for those that are on the video link, the initial question was, is there a minimum size home you can build on the blocks? And the answer to that is no. The second part of the question is when, I suppose, draft plans get submitted to the development committee for approval, is there a cost associated with that? And the answer is no. So there is no cost to submit development committee or to submit plans to the development committee. Yep. Yeah, okay. For those that are on the video link, there is a question for the lots that are down, I suppose, adjoining the 14th East hole along here, where currently we've got a channel that runs through most of those lots. What are the engineering requirements in relation to a swimming pool? Now, for all engineering and planning related matters, I do hand across to the experts, and that's the one over here on my right, so I'll let him answer it.
Gee, I've been called many things, but that's a lot better than normal, so thanks, Shane. Look, that question, it's a little bit of an unknown at this stage. With the channel being filled and compacted back to the 95% rate, like I say, it then becomes almost indifferent or the same as the existing natural ground that's there. So there shouldn't be any difference with putting a swimming pool in than if you were just putting a swimming pool in a normal block of land. Now, that's when I think if you apply for a DA for a swimming pool, the council may have requirements there that say you've got to be X amount of metres from your property, from your fence lines, just so that you don't cause issues with next door. And I'm sure part of that DA process would also require soil tests and engineering design to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Do we have any other questions? Okay. So for those that are on the video link, the question is do the, I suppose, big building companies like Metricon Homes, Simmons Homes, those type of companies, are they allowed to build on the estate? And the answer to that question is yes. Gentleman down here in the front.
Will there be any netting required for errant golf shots on those blocks facing the two main holes there?
All right, so the question for those that are on the video link is, will there be any netting required for errant golf shots? So, gentleman down the front, he might have gone out and had a look at my golf game on Friday afternoon. Will there be netting required? We don't believe that there will be netting required. We believe that the lots are set back far enough that for the greater majority of golfers that they should be fine. Look, like everything, there probably will on certain blocks be the occasional ball that may end up there, but I wouldn't think that netting would be required. I think there might have been another question from someone that put their hand up down the front. Somewhere here, sorry, this gentleman, sorry.
Stormwater runoff, knowing that it's pretty sunny most of the year, but we had that once in a 10-year big flood just a couple of weeks ago. What's the capacity there?
Okay, so the question for those on the video link is in relation to stormwater runoff. So again, when it comes to any engineering related matters.
Thanks, Shane. Look, the engineering design requirements for the estate are as for a typical residential housing estate. So they have to be designed to the 1 in 20 year storm event, which in this case, so the pipes will be sized to take that amount of runoff if that happens, and the outflow, of course, will be into the surrounding dams on the golf course. So we don't have to build any specific storage infrastructure for the drainage. It will go into the dams.
What's the general elevation difference between one of the box boards and the dams?
Look, I couldn't tell you. We've got survey plans and everything available. So again, I can let you know that. Yep.
Joel up the back.
Just wondering, along the 14th there, is that all going to be grassed all the way to the estate?
Yeah, okay. So the question is for the blocks along the 14th, is it going to be grassed all the way to the estate? So good question, Joel. The short answer is no. The long answer is we expect that there will be more grass in here. As you'd be aware, we've got obviously a brand new irrigation system that's been installed on the east course, and the grass coverage certainly will improve in this area. But are we going to have wall-to-wall grass there inside the next 2 years that's going to be finely mowed and that type of thing? And the answer is no. Grass coverage will improve, but it won't be a pristine bowling green type lawn out the back there. Susan? No worries. I'll get Mark to explain that one a little bit more.
Okay, thanks, Shane. Just for the people on the video link, the question or the comment was made that we just should explain the council's requirements for a vegetation buffer zone, for want of a better term, at the front of the interface between the lots and the golf course. So getting back to someone else's question about whether should be any netting required, that shouldn't be required. All the boundaries of the estates have been all designed so that they're 60 metres or more from the centre line of the adjacent fairways. Quite a good stand of trees on both the 9th and the 14th, and also the council requirement is along the front of the allotments that face the golf course, they want us to put in 2 rows of a vegetated buffer. So we're planning that we'll have 2 rows of sort of native shrubs, possibly, a metre high, lamandras, native grasses, that sort of stuff. So they'll stop the rolling golf balls, and the tree cover should stop any errant high golf balls that come near the estate.
Gentleman down here. So the question was about natural gas and whether natural gas will be provided as part of the estate, and the answer to that one is yes. Question up the back. So the question for those on the video link is in relation to access. So access, as the gentleman rightly says, is currently on club land, and what are the implications for the future around the community association? So Mark will be able to explain that one better than me, so I'll hand that across.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. Yeah, look, the access road all the way from 24 lane entry up via the golf club access road, around past the motel, all the way to the entrance of the estate will remain on golf course land. It will be covered by a carriageway easement in favour of all the lots, so that they have got legal rights of access over the golf course land. But while it's remaining on golf course land, the golf club will be responsible for the maintenance.
Okay, so the question was, should the golf course ever be sold? Could the new owners some way impact the development? Very hypothetical question. I suppose the golf club is owned by the members, so it would be a very highly unusual event in order for the golf club to be sold. And again, I'm not a constitutional expert, but I dare say it would require a 75% majority of members to agree to something along those lines. So we're talking about a highly unusual event. Mark may be able to answer this one in terms of the carriageway easement and that type of thing that goes over there. I'm assuming that would protect the rights of the landowners in there from any future sale. Yep. Steve Morgan's nodding his head. So yeah, firstly, certainly not expected to happen. I think there's more chance of me winning Tats Lotto every week for the next 52 weeks as opposed to the club being sold. But yeah, if in answer to your question, if that type of event did occur, yep, the easements in place would protect the lot owners.
Will there be a need for a sinking fund to maintain the roads, etc. in the complex?
Question was for those on the video link is, will there be the need for a sinking fund? So look, it's normal practice for community associations to have a sinking fund, and we would expect that would be the case here. In saying that, we would expect that would be covered within the community association annual fees. Yep, that we said as a ballpark number, we're expecting that to be in the $1,000 range. Okay, if there are no further questions, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come in today. We hope that you've learnt more about the Rich River Golf Course estate. We're certainly very, very excited about what we're going to have on offer very, very shortly. As I mentioned earlier, it's certainly a very unique and rare opportunity. This type of development does not come along all that often, and we do firmly believe it's going to be a magnificent estate right here on Rich River Golf Club, and it will provide a fantastic lifestyle for those that are fortunate enough to buy into it. So thank you very much. We will be around to answer any questions if you prefer to ask them on a one-on-one basis. We've also got some finger food, as I mentioned earlier, and you can take the opportunity to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and we will also shortly be going over to the site. So if people want to go over and have a look around on the site, we will head over there, and again, you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions over there. So thank you very much. We appreciate your attendance, and we look forward to putting these blocks on sale in the next couple of months. Thank you.